Have you ever thought about what Formula One would look like with the Premier League format? A league table consisting of 10 teams where head-to-head races are held every week in a round-robin format. I have decided to simulate a season to see how this would play out. Here are my rules that I have put on this Formula One season. 10 teams will go head-to-head with each team racing against each other one time. The race will be 3 laps long with a coin toss determining which team will start on pole position. In total, each team will compete in 9 league races. As it is virtually impossible to get a draw in Formula One, I've decided to tweak the rules just a little bit. In order to score 3 points, you must beat the opposing car by more than 1 second, 2 points if you beat the car by less than a second, 1 point if you only lose by less than a second, and obviously 0 points if you lose by more than a second. That way there is more chance for teams to get points, and the table won't be so boring. After 9 league races, we will enter the playoff stage, and I guess you could say this is more like the MLS than the Premier League, but hey, I need views. The top 4 teams will make the playoffs, with first playing 4th, second playing 3rd, and the higher seed starting on pole position. And then eventually we will get to the final round where the Premier League Formula One champion will be decided. Let's get started. Our first race was the reigning champions Red Bull versus bottom of the barrel Haas, and as you expect, Red Bull absolutely wiped the floor with them, beating them by almost 4 seconds in a 3-lap race. Look at the distance. Red Bull absolutely flying away. So a fantastic start for the reigning champions, and all the favourites actually ended up winning their races. Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin all starting with a big W. And as we move our way into week 4, we finally get our first blockbuster matchup between Ferrari and Mercedes. You can see the table is kind of shaping out how we would expect. Red Bull on top, Aston Martin, Ferrari and Mercedes all in the playoff spots, with McLaren trying to hunt it on down, and you've got Haas at the very bottom on 1 point. Same with Williams. So it is all tight, and we're going to try and compare this to the real F1 title as well to see how similar it is. Even in this short championship, it will probably come out very, very similar because, I mean, it's realistic car performance, so why wouldn't it? As we're watching Mercedes beat Ferrari in a blockbuster matchup, and that is a huge win for Mercedes as it allows them to go ahead of Ferrari in the championship, at least momentarily. But the form of Red Bull continues as they show up Aston Martin in the Red Bull ring, and yeah, look at that. It was an overtake around the outside. They actually managed to pull that 1 second gap out and win by more than 1 second, so they take home 3 points instead of 2, and they kept their winning run going as they beat Ferrari. Ferrari were so close. They held the lead the whole race until the final couple of corners where Red Bull sweep on through, and it's not going to be the perfect season for Red Bull, but they will be undefeated at least until the final round of the season. You can see Red Bull 7 wins over the 1 second margin out of 8, but it's 8 wins out of 8 for them. Ferrari in second, Mercedes third, and Aston Martin occupying that 4th slot with a tight battle between McLaren. So we're going to go into the final week of the season, and we're going to see which team is going to take home that 4th spot, as Haas have guaranteed themselves 10th place already. So going into the final week, McLaren need a 3-point win. So they have to beat Alfa Romeo by more than 1 second. And then they need Aston Martin to not beat AlphaTauri. So kind of a lot to ask for here from McLaren, but they've got to get the job done first themselves. Can they beat Alfa Romeo by a whole second? And as they're rounding the final corner here in Mexico, it doesn't look like it. It looks very close, and it is 9/10 the gap. So McLaren fail to make it into the playoffs. Aston Martin beat AlphaTauri anyway, so it didn't really make too much of a difference. And it actually means Aston Martin take that 3rd place away from Mercedes after Red Bull took the victory away from Mercedes. So the semi-finals are as is. Red Bull versus Mercedes, and then we've got Ferrari versus Aston Martin. So let's go in and see how Red Bull and Mercedes will fare as we do get underway. And it's a great start from Red Bull. You almost feel like Mercedes have to take the lead in order to win this race because Red Bull have looked unbeatable. I mean, they've looked unbeatable because they have been unbeatable. 9 races, 9 wins, 8 of them by more than 1 second. How do you beat this team? I don't think it's possible. And you can see Red Bull taking the early lead. And for Mercedes to come back is going to be virtually impossible, as Red Bull have gotten out of that 1 second margin and they're just cruising at this point. It's too easy for them. They're playing on easy mode. No team can compete. The only team that can kind of compete is Ferrari, and we could see that matchup in the final. We saw how close it was in Vegas, so hopefully we might see it in the final. Who knows? Maybe Aston Martin take the victory against Ferrari as we're underway in the second semi-final. Aston Martin, can they ever go at Ferrari? Ferrari hold on to that lead into turn 1, but Aston Martin, they're a bit of an underdog and they can surprise you. They surprised us in 2023 and they can surprise you on this game. They have been very, very quick throughout this season, and perhaps Ferrari's closest challengers, as there was a bit of lag in the background, but look, it's got Aston Martin into contention. This would be questionable, but they would take it nonetheless. That was quite something. We saw that lag, and it brought Aston Martin right to the gearbox of the Ferrari, and potentially could go for the move, but Ferrari are going to hold on just about. And on this final lap, they do hold on up to the line, and it will be a Red Bull versus Ferrari final. First seed versus second seed. We go to Abu Dhabi to decide who will be the F1 Premier League champion. Mercedes and Aston Martin, they've been mudded, so get out of here. We're ready for the final. It is 3, 4, 5 red lights in Abu Dhabi, and we are underway. You almost feel like Ferrari have to take the lead into turn 1. As we do run into turn 1, it's side-by-side action. They could take the lead. It is all so close, but Red Bull around the outside. It's still side-by-side. Is there going to be contact? It looked like there was a little bit, but Ferrari take the lead. Hello, hello, hello. We could have an interesting finale, and they've got a bit of pace about them. They could hold on, and it looks like they're going defensive every single lap because that Red Bull is all over the back of them. If Red Bull was in front, this would be over by now, but this is the beauty of the playoff. It is a 1-race finale, so it's all this race that matters. If Ferrari take the win here, Red Bull's unbeatable season is no longer unbeatable, and it's useless because they finished second. So this could be the championship that Ferrari needs. This could be the championship that Tifosi wants and needs. It's been so many years. Bring it back to Ferrari. Come on, Ferrari. What have they got? But there is another lap, a half a lap. You just got to hold on. Hold on through this straight. Hold on through the next straight, and it's all over. But look at the power of the Red Bull. You hate to see it. You really do hate to see it. And it's over for Ferrari. He's gone over the bumps as well. Look at it. It's over for Ferrari. It's disaster. The Red Bull have stormed away. Look at the gap now. Oh, the Ferrari said, screw it. Why finish the race if you're not going to win it? It just pulls off. Fair enough. Well, it's Red Bull victory once again. We're all used to it. So why not watch it one more time? Round in the final corners. Red Bull will win the F1 Premier League. And that's that. Maybe in F1 24 it might be a little bit different, or maybe it'll be even worse and Red Bull will go 9-9 from the wins over 1 second. You can see Red Bull take the win, Ferrari second, Aston Martin third, Mercedes fourth, McLaren fifth, Alfa Romeo up in 6th, which is I guess a little bit of a surprise, Alpine in 7th, Williams in 8th, AlphaTauri 9th, and a special shout out to Haas for at least scoring 1 point in this simulation. Oh boy. If you're a Haas fan, I do not know how you do it. You're getting crushed in simulation. You're getting crushed in real life. It's got to be tough. Well, anyway, if you guys enjoyed this type of video, make sure you go ahead, leave a like, subscribe. It means a lot. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.